The deeper reason behind why you're not hitting the goals that you set for yourself year after year is because you do not trust yourself. But don't worry, because in this video, we will be talking about how to rebuild the trust within yourself, and also how understanding and utilizing the law of compounding can literally change everything for your life. What is good, you guys? It's Kay, and welcome back to another video. If you are new, welcome to this channel. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm not a big believer in coincidence, so if you're here, just know you made it to this video for a reason. Thank you for being here, and I'm so excited to really jump into this topic because it's something that I feel like I've genuinely seen all sides of. I have seen what it looks like to have just like a really deep foundational trust within myself and what that looks like for my life, how that translates. However, I've also seen the other side where I've lost that trust or I've broken that trust within myself and how it affects each and every single day. So let's just get into it, okay? Grab yourself a matcha, a water, a tea, a wine, okay? Grab something good, and get your notes ready. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes so that we can just absorb this information, take what you need from it, and start to rebuild the trust within ourselves, okay? Let's dive into it. I truly believe that the first part of this process is identifying whether or not you have lost trust within yourself, in what ways you've lost trust, and kind of just acknowledging that. So here are a few signs so that you can indicate if you have lost trust within yourself. You keep setting goals that for some reason or the other you just can't seem to hit, you just can't seem to keep them. For some reason, year after year, or maybe it's even month after month, week after week, you have these goals that you set for yourself and you're just not achieving them. That could look like waking up earlier, getting to the gym. It could look like eating healthier, journaling. It could be like posting consistently on social media. You are setting goals and for some reason you just can't figure it out, but you just don't seem to hit them, or you always come short and you always just end up giving up on them, that sort of thing. Another indicator is that you lack motivation with starting new things. I truly believe this is because that along this journey of like losing the self-trust, you don't believe subconsciously that you're going to be able to see these new things through. So your motivation to start them, it goes down the drain. So you're lacking that motivation to start or like try new things that you know you want to try, you know you want to start them, but for some reason your motivation is just shot. Another sign is like you have this internalized fear of like new experiences. You may not even know it's fear, but you walk around fearing new experiences that you know for sure could put you in a better state. For example, I know I'm just using this as an example because it's one of like, it's a part of who I am, it's ingrained in me, but like when it comes to posting on social media, like you have this fear, you know you want to do it consistently, but like deep down you have this fear, whether it's like the fear of being perceived or whatever, but like having a fear when it comes to things that you know are going to be good for you is a sign that you have lacked trust within yourself, because you just don't trust yourself to protect yourself in the event that you need to in a scary situation, whether it actually be a scary situation or just a situation that you're deeming scary in your mind. You have fear towards like new experiences. And then another really good telltale sign is like you are self-isolating. This is a big one too, because when you have lost trust within yourself, you've also sort of lost trust with yourself in regards to other people. So you're self-isolating so that you don't let not only yourself down, but you don't let those people that are around you or those new connections that you're wanting to build, you're not letting anyone get affected by what it is that you got going on. So self-isolation is a big key indicator that you may have lost trust within yourself. So those are just a few, but if you identify or if you resonate with any of them, it is a good signal that you may have lost trust within yourself along the way, whether it be through different habits that you've done or haven't done, but it's okay. I truly, again, feel like the whole point is to acknowledge that this is where you are and really just decide today that like, hey, I want to start rebuilding this trust within myself, and I'm gonna do what it takes. I'm gonna do what it takes to make that happen. So let's get into what it's gonna take. So let's get into how we're going to use the law of compounding to create a plan of action that is actually going to help us rebuild this trust and rebuild this relationship with ourselves. I don't know about you, but I love definitions. So let's go over the definition really quick. So it says the law of compounding, often called the miracle of compounding, describes how an asset's value grows exponentially over time as gains generate further gains. habits. This is commonly seen in financial investment, where interest earned is reinvested, leading to accelerated growth. The longer the time horizon and the higher the interest rate, the more significant the impact of compounding becomes. The principle of compounding can be applied to various aspects of life, such as developing good habits, learning new skills, or building relationships. Consistent effort, even small steps, can lead to significant results over time. I don't know about you, but I personally love this definition, and this concept is something that I think about often. Okay, it's really on the top of my mind, especially after reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you haven't read that one, it is 10 out of 10, and it honestly goes into this concept quite a bit. It basically is just the idea that small steps, taking very, very small steps towards anything that you want in life, towards any goal, will lead to massive results over a set amount of time. That amount of time per se is not definite, because for everyone it could look different, but just focusing in on the micro things that you can do each day to get better, to grow, or to go towards a specific goal will lead to the outcome that you are ultimately looking for. So I know by now you're wondering, how does this apply to what we're talking about, and how can we use this law to genuinely start to rebuild trust within ourselves? Well, I'm glad you asked. This journey is all about, really at the root of it, it's about building and rebuilding this relationship that you have with yourself. Think about it like this. If you had like a friend or a boyfriend, girlfriend, or your parent, or like anyone in your life that you cared about, and they consistently told you things that they never followed through on, or made promises to you that they never kept, eventually in your mind, you're gonna be like, this person is not gonna do X, Y, and Z. They tell me this every year and it never comes to pass. Eventually too, you might even tell them to like stop saying those things, because you're like, well, I haven't seen you do the first thing, so like let's take it back there. Over time, you're going to start believing them less and less and less. You're gonna have less trust in them, and you're not gonna be able to trust what it is that they say. Like, you're gonna start to just wait for their actions instead of letting them just yap 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 in your ear. It is the same exact thing with the relationship that you have with yourself. But I will say the solution is not setting another big, major, grandiose goal that's gonna be so hard for you to do that you're gonna just kind of recycle, rinse and repeat this pattern. That is not gonna be the solution here, okay? The solution is going to be to start small. Start very small. Start smaller than you've ever started before. Do one thing consistently every day over the course of 30 days. It can be as small as saying a positive affirmation to yourself right before you drift off into sleep. It could be making your bed in the morning each and every single day, but you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do this for 30 days straight. Maybe waking up 10 minutes earlier each day, or like something that feels very doable for you, maybe 5 minutes. Like, make it as small as you possibly can. It could be taking like 3 really deep breaths in the morning and just being very present each morning when you wake up instead of going straight for your phone. Maybe doing your skincare routine each night. I am going to be utilizing my 5-minute journal. If you have not heard of a 5-minute journal before, I highly suggest that you look down in my description. I will leave you guys a link for the 5-minute journal, but it is so good. It literally has sections where each day you can just jot down 3 things that you're grateful for, 3 ways that today would be made great, like, you know, kind of setting expectations, and then 2 daily affirmations lines, and then also there is a night routine. There's like 3 lines to reflect on your day, and then 2 lines to go over what you learned during that day. So that is going to be mine because it literally takes 5 minutes. It is so easy, and it's something that I've done in the past, so I know I can do it again. All that being said, okay, you just want to choose something for you that is going to be so simple, so easy, but something that is going to be a non-negotiable over these next 30 days. This is not going to be something that you're doing to create like a massive, drastic change within your life. This is simply so that you can prove to yourself that you can keep the promises that you make, you can be consistent over a 30-day period, and to really start to rebuild the trust that you have within yourself, because you're doing something every day that you said you would do. Something else I want to touch on here that's really key and important to note is that your inner child plays a huge role in this process as well. We all internally have this childlike version of ourselves that is the most excited version of us, the version of us that like has these big dreams and big goals, that genuinely believes that anything is possible, that genuinely believes in you, and that like your world can be whatever it is that you make it, like has this crazy imagination. It's just the inner part of us that we all have and that a lot of us kind of suppress when it gets to adulthood. But ironically enough, it's the part of us that I truly feel like the most successful people and the people that live just the fullest lives, they keep alive and they continue to nourish and they continue to care for that inner childlike version of themselves. And it's something that we definitely have to cover when we're talking about rebuilding trust within ourselves, because a lot of our issues and problems and the things that we deal with as adults come from like childhood traumas. So you might be lacking a trust within yourself because of what someone told you that you couldn't do when you were a child, when you had all these big dreams and you had all these big goals, and an authority figure in your life, whether it be a parent or a teacher or just someone that you used to look up to, and they may have shot your dream down, or they may have told you that you weren't going to amount to anything, or they may have told you that, you know, your dreams were too far-fetched or they weren't realistic, that they didn't pay the bills. That could be causing like that underlying lack of trust within yourself as well. So I just want to kind of put that out there. I could really make a whole video on like inner child stuff because it is so deeply rooted in all of us, whether we like it or not, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. I know it can be rough to even think about sometimes, but it is so necessary to really put the work in to heal our inner child, because that is where the root of like so many of our limiting beliefs, so many of our just trauma like kind of lies, and you can really start to alter this through shadow work. Now, shadow work is, again, I could go on all day about these things and I won't do that here just for the sake of time. But what I will say is shadow work will change your entire life from the inside out. There are so many ways that you can go about it. For example, if you just look up like shadow work prompts, really just don't even take my word for this, like look into it yourself and do some research and actually decide like if that's a journey that you want to go on. Just know in advance it is not pretty. There will be things that come up that you may have forgotten or you may have suppressed so deeply that you didn't even really remember. It is an amazing way to really channel your inner child and start to understand who you are on a really deep level. I feel like that's the basis of all relationships, is like really knowing that person, and that's going to be the basis of rebuilding the relationship that you have with yourself as well, and starting to change and reframe these negative limiting beliefs that you have placed on yourself, whether it be through childhood trauma or just maybe growing up in an environment of lack or whatever. Those things will start to arise and you'll then be able to change them or alchemize them into something that's so much more powerful and something that serves who it is that you are now and where you're headed in life. And I just think that is just such a beautiful thing. So I could not mention it. It is so essential to just know that like we all still have that like childlike energy and childlike version of ourselves within us, and it's so key to be able to pull her out and to be able to show her love and like show her that, you know what, anything is possible in this life and you can do the things that you've dreamed of since you were so young and innocent and before you knew anything of this world. So yeah, I think it's really important, and like I said, do your own research on shadow work, decide if it's a journey that you want to go on, but I would highly recommend it if you're wanting to go on this journey of rebuilding self-trust as well. So there's something sneaky about this process as well, because the process and this journey of growing and rebuilding this trust that you have within yourself will also just by default grow and increase your self-confidence, which is so interesting to me. And I think it's also a beautiful part of this, that just by default of you taking the necessary steps to rebuild trust and faith within yourself, you're also going to just become more confident, become more trusting in your capabilities capabilities and what it is that you can do and just who it is that you are as a whole. And that is something that is invaluable. It's something that I learned along my journey because, you know, like many of us, I used to think that confidence was just something that people just had. Some people have it, some people don't. And that is like, it couldn't be so much further from the truth. Like, confidence is not inherited. It is something that is worked on. It is something that is built through actions, through repetition, and through consistency. The more you do something, the more confident you're going to become at doing it. I was not confident at first being on camera, having conversations like this, basically essentially talking to myself, like for what it's worth when I first got started. But I've been doing this for 10 years now of just picking up a camera, recording myself, talking, sharing things, whatever that may be. I've been on a long journey, but over time, you get better and better, you get more and more confident, and that is the same thing that kind of starts to arise and build up within yourself when you make this decision to go on this journey of rebuilding the trust that you have within yourself and consistently doing that. This is why it is so key and so important that you're gonna be able to do this for the next 30 days and just do it. Like, no matter how you feel, don't base it off of how you feel, don't base it off of what's going on in life. That's why you wanna choose something that's very, very simple, very easy, nothing that's gonna put a strain on like your daily routine for real. Like something that's so doable that like no matter how you feel that day, no matter what you're going through, it's not about that. It's genuinely to show yourself that you can do this, because by doing so, you're literally telling yourself, hey, I can trust you to do small things. So now I'm gonna be able to trust you to do bigger things. I'm gonna be able to trust you to do new things because you were able to do this small thing over this period of time. I'm starting to believe you now. And I think that's the biggest thing about this. Like, I trust you to do things that we've never done before. I might be scared, but I trust you to be there if I fall. I trust you to pick me back up. I trust you to just be there and to just be consistent no matter what, and to be able to see a different side of who we are. And that's you to you, that's me to me, right? So just being able to like have those conversations with yourself, it comes from the daily small micro things that you're doing that are proving to yourself that you are the person that you say you are, or that you can do the things that you say you can do. You're also telling yourself that you're worthy of those things. You're worthy of consistency. You're worthy of trust. You're worthy of someone thinking that you're a reliable person. You're worthy of love in all areas of your life. And that, my friend, is a beautiful, beautiful thing. This will be a form of self-discipline, but I feel like self-discipline is truly the highest form of self-love, because to me, you're just saying and you're signaling that I'm gonna do something that right now does not feel good to me. Right now, I do not want to do this thing, or right now, this thing is going to be painful in some way to me, but I know that it's setting my future self up for a different level or a different version or more comfortability or ease. It's setting my future self up for greater. It's setting my future self up for more. And I think that that is the highest form of self-love. Like, nobody can tell me anything different. It is such a beautiful thing when you're able to be disciplined and you're able to just trust that you're going to be able to see things come into fruition. That is a beautiful thing. And you will start to notice that just simply by incorporating these small micro wins into each day, into each month, over time, and even honestly, by the time we get to the end of this year, try doing things and kind of layering them on top each month. So for example, what I mean by this, say for example, the next 30 days, you just choose to make your bed every day. Then the 30 days after that, where you're like, oh my gosh, like I've gotten this down. Also, by the way, it takes 21 days to build and form a habit. So by the 30th day, I'm sure you're gonna just naturally wake up and be like, it feels weird if I don't make my bed. So that's another plus. But then after those 30 days, when it comes to the second set of 30 days, so now we're on 60-day time frame, you add something else into that, whether it be, for example, what I'm doing with my 5-minute journal. So now you make your bed every day, and in those second 60 days, you're implementing another micro habit or another micro like discipline, and you're writing in your 5-minute journal for every morning and night. And now that's something that you're keeping with yourself, and that's another commitment that you're making to yourself. So if you see where I'm going with this, we have 6 months left of this year. So that is like 6 micro good positive habits that you can install within yourself, and also 6 things that can show yourself that like, hey, I am worthy of trust. I am a trustworthy girl, okay? Like that is 6 different ways that you can show yourself that you are deserving of good things, okay? You're deserving of love, and I truly believe if you're watching this video, you are deserving of every good thing that this world and this life has to offer. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. Like, you're so invested in yourself that you stayed to the end of this video to learn how to become a better version of yourself, how to do better by yourself, and that is a very special thing. Continue to hold on to that and continue to believe that there is more to come in your future. Implement this into your next 30 days. Come back to this video, let me know how things are working for you. I would love to know and just be a part of your journey in that way. I love this for you, I love this for us, and I just love this journey that you are going on. I love this journey that we're going on together, and I'm here for you. I'm in your corner, and I just cannot wait to see the amount of trust and confidence that you build within yourself in these next 30 days, in these next 60 days, in the last half of this year. So with that being said, we will go ahead and wrap up today's video here. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments. Let me know what's on your mind, what's on your heart, what you would want me to talk about next. I do have some plans. I'm so excited to be here with you guys in this space, in this capacity. I told you I was gonna get my background together. The new place is coming together very, very nicely. So I'm really excited just to have this space where we can chat and we can, you know, just create a safe space for growth, just to pour into each other. I also just posted a 6-month mid-year glow up guide. So if you're interested and you want to know how I will be glowing up in these next 6 months, go ahead and watch that video. Definitely leave a comment down below if you did enjoy this video. Leave a big like. It helps this channel so much more than you know. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.